Hopefulness 2.0, day 28. That is, well, that's my pastry cream vanilla. That's my limmered? What is a limmered? I don't know. Lemon custard, and then some whipped cream. Whipped cream's a little bit on the heavier side of whipped. You know, it took forever to do that. Holy crap. I didn't do any sourdough making yesterday. I think I'll try to do some today. It's raining though, so room temperature is going to be a bit on the lower side. So if I'm wearing this, open the door up and it's just pouring, which is great. Kind of makes me want to have like a cup of coffee, but I don't have any coffee, so I don't know. But this is some powerful stuff. Holy crap. Like, it is, a couple of bites is really all I need. It's so good. And then the pastry cream, like, it's so sweet and delicious. Both of them are spoons. I think all my spoons are in the sink right now, but both of them are exactly. Well, okay, hold on. Let me get some water real quick. So I'm trying to parse my own thoughts regarding this, okay? So one of the things that I really liked as a kid was lemon meringue pie. My mother would make it every now and then, and thing's acting up today. Despite the fact that I have some issues with my mother overall, that was the one thing that I liked that she made, was lemon meringue pie. Now, I don't know to what level she made hers with regards to, zesting in lemons and the like. And when I was zesting my lemon, I scraped off a piece of my thumb. Actually, it was on, I didn't scrape it off. I scraped a piece of my thumb, but it was a little flap that just kept getting in the way, so I just clipped it. Either way, it was still hurting all the time. And I only ended up using 3 lemons, so I still have 3 left. Main issue is between the lemon curd and the pastry cream. I have 9 egg whites. Like, well, shit. Should I just should I make a pie crust or something? Maybe cook it in my 8x8 and then throw in some curd and make some meringue and make my own lemon meringue pie. I don't know. I know the pie shell is generally the better way of doing it and all that, but or a tart pan or something like that. I don't have those though. But yeah, so through the efforts of both of those, sliced off a part of my thumb, made some super delicious lemon tart. Lemon custard. The only clean thing I have at the moment is a Nork. So screw it. And it tastes exactly like, the only difference that I can think of is that this has the lemon zest in it. Now it's possible maybe she put lemon zest in it and then she scraped it out. I don't know. But the zest definitely adds an extra kick. But it is everything that I'd hoped it to be and more. Those are the words. Those are the words that I was truly looking for. I didn't know exactly what I was looking for, but I found them. It's everything that I hoped it to be and more. What I haven't done is mutes it a little bit. And then, of course, pastry cream. It's exactly what I want in like a donut or anything. It's so good. It's just sweet enough. Like, I feel like the lemon custard is sweeter, even though it's more acidic too. This is much more like full-bodied and eggy. It has one extra egg in it too, comparatively. But God, just the whole thing. Like, this feels less sickeningly sweet than fucking custard. And then, with regards to the pat of choux that I adjusted yesterday, didn't work out. Too much sugar, too much everything, I think. It really needs a light touch, like super light. And the reason I know this is because I made 2 batches with the modified version with the brown sugar and the light. Brown sugar, a little on the heavy side. If anything, I should have, like, to reach the goal that I was looking for, I should have used probably just half of a tablespoon of sugar, and that's it. But I mean, I learned something. They ended up with a little bit more burnt on the bottom than I liked. They weren't terrible, but they weren't really all that great either. It's kind of like my first sourdough. They were like right in the middle. Like, I'm not gonna serve this to anybody, but I don't hate myself for eating it either. And it's not just, I don't want to be wasteful. They weren't bad. They just weren't as good as the original. And so then I took out, and okay, so I made 2 batches. And the reason I made 2 batches is because the first batch, they came out super flat. And I was like, what the fuck? And then I realized it might have been because they were pretty much just straight up ice cold. And like, well, okay, let's let them sit out, let's let them warm up. I had forgotten to put on an egg wash, so I put an egg wash on the second round, but then I screwed up. And so with the nature of the pat of choux puffs, you want to put it in the oven at 425 and then immediately drop the temperature down to 375. I left it in the oven at 425 for probably a good solid 10-15 minutes, I'm not even sure. They puffed up a bit more, so my thinking is that the warmth mattered. The warmth of the room, because I let them sit out first and warm up before I put them in the oven. But I don't know. They ended up more crispy and burnt. Still didn't taste terrible. Like, there was a little bit of bitterness because of the burnt, but not like, and I don't like bitterness, but it wasn't so off-putting. It wasn't what I wanted it to be, of course, but it wasn't so off-putting that I was like, oh god, I can't fucking eat these. And since I had already started making some stuff, I started kind of digging in. And the first thing that I made, so I made the lemon curd first, but at the time I was in the process of making the whipped cream, so I was kind of diving into the whipped cream with him. I was helping. And the lemon curd was still pretty warm, so it was in the fridge. Oh god. Oh. And this is how I would often eat my lemon meringue pies. I would just scrape it all off first. Like, the meringue was good and all. I would take that off, I'd eat it, and then I'd scrape off the lemon curd. And for me, that was like, that was the entree. That was the main event. And then I'd eat the pie shell, or sometimes throw it out, depending. Yeah, I was a kid. Like, I don't have much for positive memories of childhood. This helps create one of them. It helps to reinforce it. The second batch of the modified pâte à choux puffs, I think I had a little bit of the lemon curd, but I can't remember, to be honest. I think I just ate up, more of the whipped cream. Because I cooked them pretty much immediately after, too. Because the whipped cream, I was in the middle of whipping the cream when the first set came out. And this took, I want to say, like 15 minutes. It felt like that, at least. It took a long time to whip this shit up by hand. And since I didn't use the powdered sugar, I used regular sugar and I used cornstarch. I was like, all right, I'm gonna do the I'm gonna do what Claire said with regards to the amount of sugar, but I'll just use like a half a teaspoon of cornstarch. It stabilizes it pretty well. So, and it reminds me of exactly the kind of whipped cream that I'd be looking for in the past that I would have thought of. At least for the stiff peaks and stuff like that. Because, I mean, this is like... Let's be on stiff peaks. It's like it's getting craggly and stuff. But it's still so good. I mean, of course, it's cream and sugar. Why is it good? I don't know. Maybe it's because it's just fat and sugar. I'm not sure. There go, that's me playing. So I forgot to feed the starter last night, like I said I was going to do, so I'll just go ahead and do it here soon. But once everything was done, I decided to go ahead and just try out the original pâte à choux puff dough. I let that warm up a little bit, while the oven was preheating. I had it up on the on the pan and everything, and I want to say that around the time that that it preheated, there was probably, I was still in the process, and then I gave it like another 10 minutes to warm up in the room and whatnot. And then I stuck them in there and put them in there for just about 35 minutes. And this time, there was a definitive difference between my first batch and this batch. Now, part of that is probably due to the fact that I wasn't searching for a fucking camera and taking photos and shit. I literally just turned them over, started stabbing holes in them, and like steam was definitely releasing out of them, because like I would move the knife over to the next one and it was dripping water, like I had just literally dunked it into a glass of water. It was crazy. And so most of them didn't really deflate much. There was a couple of deflations, and that was just kind of like due to certain aspects of the cream puffs, because like they'll get kind of craggly on the top, and that actually weakens the structure a bit, whereas some of them were a little bit more just straight up kind of domed, and those obviously would have a better structure. But oh man, That was when I went full hog. That was when I had the pastry cream. That was when I had the custard. That was when I had the whipped cream. And I was testing them all with olive. It was just so good. And I'm like, I'm sitting there thinking while I'm eating it, I'm like, I have probably consumed twice the amount of calories today that I should have. But I don't care because this is so fucking delicious. I mean, I just felt... I want to say I felt good, but it wasn't just that. I was elated that I had made so many good tasting things that I didn't know that I could do this stuff. It was awesome. It's such a validating feeling to be able to make something that just tastes good, and especially so soon after having started doing it. Like, that's the first time I've ever made lemon custard. That's the first time I've ever made vanilla pastry cream. Ever. And they turned out good. Like, I followed the instructions. I wrote them down. You know, I made sure that they made sense to me, so that when I did them, it made sense. And it worked. And it was awesome. And I'm tired, and it's cold, and it's raining, and I want to go back to bed because it's the kind of day that I just want to stay in bed. I gotta call up, or at least email, somebody who emailed me, because they called me Wednesday, but it was like late in the afternoon, and then I'd already been busy, and then I didn't get any other phone calls Thursday or Friday or Saturday or Sunday, so I'll just hit him up, email today. I mean, they've probably given up on me and moved on, but it's whatever. And there's another one that they've left a couple messages, and I need to call them too. It's another marketing company, so I don't know if I'll take it or not. So good. Oh, man. Oh, that's good. I mean, obviously, half of it's sugar, some way or another. Although, really not that much. Like, the lemon custard, I want to say, is about a half a cup of sugar. The rest of the bulk is mostly eggs. The pastry cream is milk with about a half a cup of sugar and some more eggs. And then, of course, the whipped cream is cream with only like 2 tablespoons of sugar. And it was like a whole cup. It was 2 cups. Sorry. No, it was 1 cup. It was 1 cup of heavy cream and 2 tablespoons of sugar. So throughout all 3 of the recipes, there's a total of 1 cup of sugar plus 2 tablespoons. Plus however much is in the pâte, which isn't much. It's a lot of eggs, a lot of fat, of course, cooked just right and all this other stuff. But I mean, Claire, she's just telling you how to do it right. That's for sure. She's the one I've been following with all these recipes. I'm gonna cut this short. I'm tired. Have fun.